All right, today we're cracking open the toolkit of some of the world's most elite problem solvers, the Six Sigma Black Belts. We're going to focus on two absolute powerhouse frameworks they use to make huge improvements in pretty much any organization. We're talking about DMAIC and DMAVD. This is all about the structured, data-driven thinking that really separates the best from the rest. So let's get right into it. So, have you ever wondered how the really top-tier organizations tackle their biggest, most critical challenges? Is it just pure luck? Some random flash of genius? Absolutely not. The real answer is a super disciplined, data-driven approach that basically turns problem-solving from an art form into a science. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the core mindset, the toolkit itself. Then we'll break down DMAIC, that's for improving things that already exist, and DMADV, which is all about creating something brand new. We'll get into how you choose the right tool for the right job, and then we'll wrap it all up with the one thing that ties it all together, focusing on what the customer actually wants. Okay, first up, let's open that toolkit and really get our heads around the core philosophy here. This is what separates a real Six Sigma approach from, just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. And here is the absolute key. Elite problem solvers do not guess. Period. They rely on a proven, repeatable, structured set of tools. Success isn't about one person having a single eureka moment. It's about a systematic method that anyone can learn and use in any industry. Now, at the very heart of this toolkit is a really simple but incredibly powerful little equation, y equals f of x. So think of y as your outcome, the big problem you're trying to fix, like maybe low customer satisfaction. And the x's, well, those are all the different inputs, the potential root causes that are creating that problem. The entire game is to find the right x's, get them under control, and by doing that, you control your outcome. So let's jump into our first big framework, DMAIC. This is your go-to tool for fixing something that's already in place but is, broken or just not performing the way it should be. And you'll notice, DMAIC isn't a one-and-done fix. It's a continuous loop, a cycle of improvement. The acronym itself stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. It's a really logical path that takes you all the way from figuring out a problem to putting in a solid long-term fix. Let's walk through that. First, in Define, you get crystal clear on what the problem is and what success is going to look like. Then in Measure, you go out and get the data to see how the process is actually doing right now. Next, you Analyze. This is where you put on your detective hat and dig into that data to find the real root causes, those critical X factors. Once you know the why, you improve the process by getting rid of those root causes. And finally, and this is so important, you control the process to make sure the problem doesn't just creep back in later. You lock in those gains. But what if your problem isn't that a process is broken? I mean, what if the best move is to just create something totally new? Well, for that, a black belt pulls out a different tool, DMADV. Now, the name sounds pretty similar, but its purpose is completely different. DMADV stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Design, and Verify. This is the framework you use to build a new product or process right from the very beginning, making sure quality is baked in, not just added on later. So how's it different? Well, the first three phases feel familiar. You define your goals, you measure what's critical to your customers, and you analyze different design options. But then it takes a sharp turn. Instead of improve and control, you design the new thing, and then you verify that your design actually works like it's supposed to, through tests and pilot programs, before you go all in. It's all about building it right the first time. Okay, so we've got two incredibly powerful frameworks, one for fixing and one for building. The next critical skill, the thing that really marks a great black belt, is knowing exactly when to use which tool. It really all boils down to this one fundamental question at the start of any big project. Are we trying to improve an existing system, or do we need to invent a whole new way of doing things? Your answer to that single question is going to determine your entire path forward. And this table just lays it out so clearly. The whole purpose of DMAIC is to improve something that already exists, to get an optimized process. DMADV, on the other hand, is for creating something brand new from a blank slate, and you end up with a verified new design. You could say one is evolutionary and the other is revolutionary. Let's make this super real. Imagine a doctor's office. They have an appointment system, but it's a total mess. Patients are complaining, appointments are getting mixed up. The system exists, it's just broken. The goal here isn't to reinvent medicine. It's to improve the current scheduling process. That is a perfect DMAIC project. Okay, but now let's flip that. What if the same business decides, you know what, this old system is a lost cause. We're going to create a brand new smartphone app so customers can book their own appointments. See the difference? There's nothing to improve because it doesn't exist yet. This is all about designing and building something new. That's a textbook case for DMADV. Now, whether you're fixing something with DMAIC or building with DMADV, there is one guiding star, one North Star, that has to inform every single decision you make. And that's having a deep, deep understanding of what actually matters to your customer. This idea is captured in what we call critical to quality characteristics, or CTQs. A CTQ basically translates the fuzzy language of the customer, their vague wishes, into a specific, measurable requirement. If you can meet that standard, you're going to have a happy customer. It really is that simple. So why does this matter so much? Because without clear CTQs, you're basically flying blind. You risk wasting an incredible amount of time, money, and energy building or fixing something that nobody even really wants. CTQs force you to zero in on what your customers actually need, to find their real pain points, and to test your ideas against what truly matters before you invest a ton of resources. A CTQ tree is a fantastic way to visualize this. A customer might just say they want good carpet installation. Well, what on earth does good actually mean? This tree helps break it down. Good might become drivers like it looks nice and it's safe. Then it's safe breaks down even more into a specific measurable CTQ. No edges are peeling after 3 weeks. Boom. Now you have a concrete target your process has to hit. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. After looking at these two frameworks and the huge role of the customer, what are the key ideas you should walk away with? First, real, lasting success is built on structure, not on guesswork. Second, just remember the simple distinction. You use DMAIC to improve, and you use DMADV to create. And finally, none of this works unless it is all tied directly to what is critical to quality for your customer. That's the only way to deliver real, tangible value. And that really leaves us with one final thought. The next time you face a really big challenge, just take a step back and ask yourself this one simple question. Is this a problem I need to fix? Or is this an opportunity to build something new from the ground up? Your answer will set you on the exact right path. Thanks so much for diving into this with me. You've got the frameworks now. Keep learning and keep making things better.
Thank you for watching. If this video helped you understand, please give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to turn on the bell so you never miss our next Six Sigma lesson. We'll see you in the next one.